The music pulsed through the penthouse as Ethan watched Maya from across the room. She wore that red dress he'd complimented earlier, the one that made her eyes sparkle like amber in candlelight. They'd been together for 2 years, and he'd planned to propose next month. The ring was already hidden in his desk drawer at home. But something felt wrong tonight. Maya laughed too loudly at something another man said, her hand lingering on his arm. Ethan recognized him, Derek Chen, a venture capitalist who'd been circling her at these industry events for months. Maya worked in marketing for a tech startup, and these parties were part of her job. Ethan had always trusted her completely. Until tonight. He made his way through the crowd, champagne in hand, trying to ignore the knot forming in his stomach. As he approached, Maya's fingers traced down Derek's lapel, her voice dropping to that intimate tone she usually reserved for Ethan alone. "Maya," Ethan said quietly, appearing beside her. She jumped slightly, her hand falling away. "Ethan, I was just telling Derek about our campaign metrics. It looked like more than that." His voice remained calm, but his jaw was tight. Derek smirked and excused himself, leaving them in an awkward silence broken only by the party's soundtrack. "Don't be ridiculous," Maya said, her eyes flashing. "You're being paranoid. I was networking." "That wasn't networking. I know what networking looks like." She rolled her eyes. "God, Ethan, you're so insecure sometimes. Can't I talk to people without you hovering?" The accusation stung because it was so unfair. He'd never been controlling, never checked her phone, never questioned her late nights at work. He'd given her complete freedom because he'd believed in her, in them. The rest of the evening passed in strained silence. Ethan watched as Maya continued to work the room, her behavior just crossing the line between professional and flirtatious. Each laugh, each touch, each lingering glance felt like a small betrayal. When they finally left, the car ride home was silent. Maya stared out the window, her arms crossed defensively. Ethan gripped the steering wheel, trying to process what he'd witnessed. "Are we really going to do this?" Maya finally asked. "Are you going to punish me for talking to people at a work event?" You know, it was more than talking. It was harmless flirting. Everyone does it. It doesn't mean anything. It means something to me. She sighed dramatically. "Maybe you need to grow up, Ethan. The world doesn't revolve around your feelings." He pulled into their apartment complex and parked but didn't move to get out. "I've never asked you for much, Maya. Just honesty and respect. Was that too much?" For a moment, her face softened. "No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. You're right, I got carried away. It won't happen again." He wanted to believe her. He wanted so badly to believe that this was just a mistake, a moment of poor judgment fueled by champagne and corporate ambition. So he nodded and followed her inside, where they went to bed without saying another word. But 3 weeks later, everything shattered. Ethan came home early from a business trip, exhausted and eager to surprise Maya. He'd bought her favorite flowers from the shop near his office. As he approached their apartment door, he heard voices inside, Maya's breathy laughter and a man's deeper tones. His hand froze on the doorknob. He knew he should walk away, that whatever he found inside would change everything. But his body moved on autopilot, key sliding into the lock, door swinging open. They were on the couch. Derek Chen, still half-dressed, scrambling for his clothes. Maya, wrapped in the throw blanket they'd bought together in Portugal, her face white with shock. "Ethan," she started, but he was already turning away. He heard her calling after him as he walked down the hallway, got in his car, and drove. He didn't know where he was going. Away from the life he'd thought they were building. Away from the woman who'd just destroyed his trust completely. The flowers lay forgotten on the passenger seat, wilting in the silence. Ethan rented a furnished apartment across town that same night. It was sterile and cold, nothing like the home he'd shared with Maya, but at least it was honest. The walls didn't echo with broken promises. His phone exploded with messages. Maya called 17 times that first night alone. When he finally turned it off, the silence felt like mercy. For 2 weeks, he went through the motions of living. Work became his sanctuary, Numbers and spreadsheets didn't betray you, didn't look you in the eye and lie. His colleagues noticed the change but were too polite to ask. Only his best friend Marcus dared to push. "You look like hell," Marcus said over lunch, sliding a beer across the table. "I feel worse. Want to talk about it?" Ethan told him everything. Marcus listened without interruption, his face growing darker with each detail. "Man, I'm sorry. But you did the right thing. Walking away from that takes strength. Doesn't feel like strength. Feels like failure. Because you loved her. But love isn't supposed to hurt like this, brother. Love is supposed to build you up, not tear you apart." Marcus's words helped, but they didn't stop the ache. Every song on the radio reminded him of Maya. Every couple he passed on the street was a mirror of what he'd lost, or what he'd thought he had. Maya kept trying to reach him through every channel she could find. Texts, emails, even a letter delivered to his office. He read them all, each one a variation of the same theme. "I'm sorry. It was a mistake. Please give me another chance. I love you." The letter that finally broke him arrived on a Saturday morning, 6 weeks after he'd left. "Ethan, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't deserve it. What I did was unforgivable, and I've replayed that moment 1,000 times, wishing I could go back and make a different choice. But I can't. I can only tell you the truth now. I was scared. Scared of how much I loved you, scared of losing my self-iness, scared of becoming the kind of woman who needs someone. So I sabotaged it. I proved to myself that I didn't need you by doing the one thing I knew would drive you away. Except I was wrong. I do need you. Not because I'm weak, but because you made me better. You saw the best in me, even when I couldn't see it myself. You protected my dignity in rooms full of people who wanted to tear me down. You stood beside me when everyone else walked away. I know I don't deserve another chance. But if you could find it in your heart to at least talk to me, to let me explain in person, I would spend the rest of my life proving that I could be the woman you believed I was. All my love. Maya." Ethan read it 3 times, sitting on his bare apartment floor. The words felt different from her other attempts. More raw, more honest. The Maya he'd fallen in love with lived somewhere in those sentences. Marcus would tell him he was crazy. His sister would say he was being naive. But Ethan had always believed in second chances, in the possibility of redemption. 3 days later, he agreed to meet her at a coffee shop downtown, neutral territory where the ghosts of their relationship couldn't haunt them. Maya looked different. Smaller somehow, like guilt had physically diminished her. Dark circles shadowed her eyes, and her hands trembled as she wrapped them around her coffee cup. "Thank you for coming," she said quietly. "I'm not promising anything. I know. Just, thank you." They sat in awkward silence for a moment. Around them, life continued. People laughed, ordered overpriced lattes, typed on laptops. The world kept spinning despite their small tragedy. "I've been in therapy," Maya finally said. 3 times a week. Trying to understand why I did what I did. And I was my father's daughter. Her voice cracked. He cheated on my mom for years. I watched her forgive him over and over, watched her lose herself trying to keep him. I swore I'd never be her. So instead, I became him. Ethan had known about Maya's father, about the painful divorce that had marked her teenage years. But he'd never connected those dots. "That doesn't excuse it," she continued quickly. "Nothing excuses it. But I'm trying to understand myself better, to fix what's broken before I hurt anyone else. Before I lose the best thing that ever happened to me completely." "You already lost me, Maya, the moment you brought him into our home." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I know. God, I know. But couldn't we build something new? Not what we had before, but something different. Something stronger." Every logical part of Ethan's brain screamed no. But his heart, that traitorous organ, whispered maybe. "I need time," he said finally. "I'll wait. However long it takes." Over the next 4 months, they rebuilt slowly. Coffee meetings became dinners. Dinners became walks in the park. Maya went to therapy religiously and kept Ethan updated on her progress. She was transparent with her phone, her schedule, her thoughts. She worked to earn back what she destroyed. And gradually, impossibly, Ethan felt hope returning. By the time autumn arrived, painting the city in shades of amber and gold, Ethan and Maya had found their way back to each other. It wasn't the same relationship they'd had before. That innocent trust was gone forever, but something new had grown in its place. Something that felt harder won and more precious because of it. Maya had quit her job at the startup, cutting ties with the environment that had enabled her worst choices. She'd taken a position at a smaller firm with better values, less glamorous but more aligned with the person she wanted to become. She sent Ethan her therapy homework, shared her breakthrough moments, and never once asked him to hurry his healing. "I'm proud of you," Ethan said one evening as they walked along the river, leaves crunching under their feet. "The work you've done on yourself, it's real." Maya squeezed his hand. "I almost lost everything. That kind of wake-up call changes you." They'd moved slowly, carefully. No rushing into intimacy. No pretending the past didn't exist. They talked about what had happened with a therapist present, working through the layers of hurt and betrayal. Maya had taken full responsibility, never making excuses, never deflecting blame. And somewhere in that process, Ethan had found forgiveness. Not the kind that forgot what happened. The scar would always be there. But the kind that chose to believe people could change. That mistakes didn't have to define someone forever. "I want to try again," he said, stopping on the bridge that overlooked the water. "Really try. Not just dating, but building a life together." Maya's eyes widened, hope and fear warring in her expression. "Are you sure? Because I couldn't bear to hurt you again. I'd rather stay like this forever than risk." "I'm sure. You've done the work. You've shown me who you want to be. And I choose to believe in that person." She kissed him then, tasting like cinnamon and second chances, and Ethan felt something settle in his chest that had been restless for months. They moved back in together on a Saturday in October. Not to their old apartment. That place held too many ghosts, but to a new space they could fill with better memories. Maya's therapy appointments continued, and Ethan joined her once a week for couples counseling. They built routines around honesty and communication. Maya's transformation seemed genuine. She deleted her social media accounts to avoid temptation. She introduced Ethan to her colleagues immediately, making their relationship clearly visible. When they went to parties together, she stayed by his side, her attention never wavering. "I'm done running from happiness," she told him one night as they cooked dinner together. "I'm done sabotaging the good things in my life. You gave me something I never gave myself, a second chance. I won't waste it." Ethan believed her. He saw the changes in her daily choices, in the way she handled stress and insecurity. The Maya who had flirted shamelessly and brought another man into their home seemed like a different person, someone they'd both left behind. His friends remained skeptical. Marcus especially. "Once a cheater, always a cheater," Marcus said bluntly over drinks one evening. "People can change." "Some people. But that kind of betrayal? In your own home? That speaks to character, man." "She's been in therapy for 8 months. She's doing everything right." Marcus shook his head. "I hope you're right. I really do. But keep your eyes open, brother. Don't let love make you blind." Ethan appreciated the concern, but he was confident in his decision. Maya had proven herself over and over. She'd done the internal work, faced her demons, and emerged as someone stronger and more self-aware. Christmas approached, and with it, Ethan's original plan resurfaced. The ring he'd bought before everything fell apart was still in his possession. He'd never returned it, couldn't bring himself to let go of that symbol of what might have been. Now, it represented what could be again. He planned a simple proposal, nothing elaborate, just the two of them and the truth of what they'd overcome. On Christmas Eve, in their new apartment with snow falling outside, Ethan knelt down and offered Maya the ring that had waited so patiently. "You've shown me that redemption is real," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "That people can face their worst selves and choose to be better. I want to spend my life with that kind of courage. Will you marry me?" Maya's hands covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Yes. God. Yes. I promise you, Ethan, I will spend every day earning this. Every single day. They celebrated quietly, calling their families, making plans. Maya's mother cried with relief. She'd feared the relationship was over forever. Ethan's sister offered cautious congratulations, her support tinged with protective concern. But Ethan felt at peace. They'd walked through fire and emerged intact. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. He had no idea that in just 3 weeks, everything would shatter again. Part 4. The Revelation. The engagement brought a whirlwind of activity. Maya threw herself into wedding planning with the same intensity she'd brought to therapy, creating Pinterest boards and scheduling venue tours. Ethan watched her excitement with quiet satisfaction, grateful that she could embrace their future without the self-destructive impulses that had nearly destroyed them. They set a date for June, a garden ceremony that felt like a new beginning. Maya's best friend Rachel flew in from Chicago to celebrate and help with preparations. Ethan had always liked Rachel. She was direct, loyal, and had been one of the few people who'd called Maya out during the darkest period of their relationship. "I'm glad you two worked it out," Rachel said when she arrived, hugging Ethan warmly. "Maya was destroyed when she lost you. I've never seen her like that." They went to dinner the first night, the three of them at an Italian restaurant Maya loved. The conversation flowed easily, wine and laughter washing away the awkwardness of past trauma. Rachel shared stories about their college days, and Maya blushed at memories of her younger, messier self. "You've really changed," Rachel observed, studying her friend. The old Maya would be scanning the room for attention. "Now you only have eyes for this one." Maya reached for Ethan's hand. "He's the only one I need to see." It was exactly what he wanted to hear. Rachel stayed at their apartment, taking the guest room. On her second night there, Ethan came home early from work, a surprise he'd arranged to spend more time with his future wife. He heard voices from the living room, Maya and Rachel, talking in low, urgent tones. He should have announced himself, but something in their voices made him pause in the hallway, hidden from view. "Can't keep doing this," Rachel was saying. "It's not fair to him." I know. I'm trying to figure out how to end it." Maya's voice. Ethan's blood went cold. "End what?" He wanted to shout, but his voice had disappeared. "Which one? Because last I checked, you were juggling 3 guys." Rachel's tone was sharp with disappointment. "4, actually. But 2 of them don't know about Ethan, so it's more manageable." The words hit him like physical blows. 4 men. While wearing his ring. While planning their wedding. "Maya, this is insane. You promised him you'd changed. You cried about second chances and therapy and becoming a better person. Was all of that a lie?" "No. I meant it. I do want to be better. But I can't help it, Rach. When guys are interested, when they want me, it's like this high I can't resist. And Ethan is so safe. So trusting. He believes everything I tell him. Because you've been lying to him for months. Jesus, Maya, the man proposed to you. He forgave you for something unforgivable, and you're doing it again. I'm not sleeping with all of them. Mostly just texting, meeting for drinks. It's not the same as before. It's exactly the same. You haven't changed at all. You've just gotten better at hiding it." Silence fell, heavy and damning. Ethan stood frozen, his world crumbling for the second time. But this time was worse. This time, he'd been complicit in his own betrayal. He'd chosen to believe, chosen to trust, chosen to overlook every warning sign because he wanted so desperately for love to be enough. "What are you going to do?" Rachel finally asked. "I don't know. I love him, Rach. I really do. But I also love the attention, the excitement. Maybe I can have both. Ethan never has to know." "That's not love. That's selfishness." "Maybe. But it's who I am." Ethan had heard enough. He stepped into the doorway, his face a mask of devastation and fury. Maya's eyes met his, and all color drained from her face. "Ethan." Don't." His voice was barely a whisper. "Don't say my name. Don't apologize. Don't insult me with more lies. How much did you hear?" "Enough." Rachel stood quickly, guilt and relief warring on her features. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I tried to talk her out of it. I wanted to tell you, but you should have." He looked at Rachel, then back at Maya. "You both should have. But at least now I know the truth." Maya started crying, reaching for him. "Please, we can fix this. I'll stop seeing them. I'll do better this time. I promise." "Your promises mean nothing." The words came out flat, emotionless. He was beyond anger now, in some cold place where nothing could touch him. "You didn't make a mistake, Maya. This is who you are, and I was a fool to think otherwise." He walked past her to their bedroom and began packing. Maya followed, her pleas becoming more desperate. "I have a problem. An addiction. We can work through this together. Please don't leave me again." Ethan kept folding clothes, methodical and precise. "I protected you. Do you understand that? When people gossiped about you, I defended you. When your co-workers made snide comments about your behavior, I shut them down. I stood between you and judgment because I believed you deserved that protection." I know. But you never deserved it. You were exactly who they thought you were, and I was too blind to see it." He zipped his suitcase and turned to face her one last time. Maya looked destroyed, makeup running, hands shaking. Part of him, the part that had loved her for 3 years total, wanted to comfort her. But that part was dying, suffocating under the weight of repeated betrayal. "The ring," he said quietly. "What?" "My ring. I want it back." Her face crumpled. She slid it off her finger and placed it in his palm, and the symbolism of that moment broke something fundamental in both of them. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I really am. I know that doesn't mean anything, but it's true. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference." He walked out of their apartment, out of their relationship, out of the fantasy he'd built around who she could be. Rachel was waiting by the door, her own bags packed. "I'm catching a flight tonight," she said. "I can't watch her do this anymore." "Did you know the whole time?" "Not the whole time. Just the last month. I should have told you sooner." "Yeah, you should have." They rode the elevator down in silence. When they reached the lobby, Rachel turned to him one more time. "For what it's worth, you deserved better. You deserved someone who could see what they had and hold on to it. Maya's going to regret this for the rest of her life." "Good," Ethan said, and meant it. She should. 6 months passed. 6 months of Ethan rebuilding himself from the ground up, piece by painful piece. He'd thrown himself into work, accepting a promotion that required 60-hour weeks. He'd reconnected with old friends, picked up hobbies he'd abandoned, and slowly remembered who he'd been before Maya had convinced him that love required sacrifice. Marcus had been there through all of it, never once saying "I told you so," though he would have been justified. "You gave her more chances than most people would," Marcus said over drinks one evening. "That's not weakness. That's integrity. Integrity that made me an idiot. No, just someone who believes in redemption. The world needs people like you, even if people like her don't deserve it." Ethan had blocked Maya everywhere, cutting off every avenue of communication. But he heard things through mutual connections. She'd spiraled after he left, lost her job, alienated most of her friends, developed a reputation in their social circles as someone who couldn't be trusted. The men she'd been seeing had all disappeared once they realized she'd been playing them too. She was alone, and apparently devastated by it. Ethan felt nothing when he heard these updates. Not satisfaction, not pity, just a vast emptiness where his feelings for her used to be. That was how he knew he'd truly moved on, not because he hated her, but because he didn't feel anything at all. Then, on a Tuesday in July, almost exactly a year after the first betrayal, Maya showed up at his office. His secretary tried to stop her, but Maya pushed past, appearing in his doorway like a ghost from a life he'd buried. "Ethan, please. Just 5 minutes. She looked terrible. Thin, hollow-eyed, wearing clothes that hung off her frame. This wasn't the polished, confident woman who'd charmed entire rooms. This was someone who'd hit bottom hard and hadn't found her way back up. "You need to leave," he said calmly, not rising from his desk. "I know you hate me. I know I destroyed everything good we had. But I need you to understand something. There's nothing you could say that I need to hear. You were the only person who ever protected my dignity." Her voice cracked. "Do you remember that conference where those guys were making inappropriate comments about me? You shut them down without hesitation. You made them apologize." He remembered. It had been early in their relationship, when he'd still believed she was worth defending. "Or the time my boss tried to touch me inappropriately, and you helped me file the complaint? You stood beside me through the entire investigation, even though it could have hurt your own career. That's what partners do." "No. That's what you did. Because you saw me as someone worthy of respect, even when I didn't respect myself. Even when I didn't respect you." Tears streamed down her face, but Ethan remained unmoved. He'd seen her cry before, had let those tears manipulate him into second and third chances. "Not again. I've lost everything," she continued. "My job, my friends, my reputation. People cross the street when they see me coming. I'm the cautionary tale everyone tells at parties, the girl who had a good man and threw him away for nothing. You made those choices. I know. And I have to live with them. But what's killing me isn't the job or the friends or even the loneliness. It's knowing that I had someone who saw the best in me, who protected me and believed in me, and I destroyed that deliberately. Multiple times. Then learn from it. Be better with the next person. There won't be a next person. No one's going to take a chance on me after what I did. And even if they did, they wouldn't be you. They wouldn't fight for me the way you did. They wouldn't give me the grace you gave me, over and over, even when I didn't deserve it." Ethan finally stood, walking to the window to put distance between them. The city sprawled below, full of people living their lives, making their choices, facing their consequences. "Why are you really here, Maya?" "Because I need you to know that I understand now. What I lost. What I threw away. You protected my dignity in every room we ever entered together. And I repaid you by humiliating you in the worst possible ways. I need you to know that I see that now. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I believe you are sorry. But that changes nothing. I know. I'm not asking for another chance. I just needed you to know that you weren't wrong about me entirely. The woman you believed I could be. She existed. She exists. It's just too late for her to matter." The silence between them stretched, full of everything they'd been and everything they'd never be. "You should go," Ethan said finally. "Will you ever forgive me?" He considered the question carefully. "Maybe someday I'll forgive you. Not for you, for me. So I can let go of this completely and move forward. But that forgiveness won't bring you back into my life. We're done, Maya. We were done the moment your friend exposed the truth." "I know." She moved toward the door, then paused. "For what it's worth, I hope you find someone who deserves what you gave me. Someone who sees protecting their partner's dignity as sacred, the way you did. Someone who chooses you every day and never makes you doubt it. I hope I find that too." After she left, Ethan sat in his office for a long time, watching the sun set over the city. He thought about the man he'd been when they'd met, optimistic, trusting, ready to believe in forever. He thought about the man he'd become after her betrayals, harder, more guarded, less willing to lead with his heart. Neither version was entirely right. The truth existed somewhere in between, strong enough to set boundaries, open enough to still believe in love. His phone buzzed with a text from a woman named Sarah, someone he'd met at a charity event last week. She was asking if he wanted to get coffee sometime. No pressure. Ethan stared at the message for a long time. The old him would have said yes immediately. The wounded him wanted to say no, to protect himself from ever being vulnerable again. He typed out a response. "Coffee sounds good. How about Saturday?" As he hit send, he felt something shift inside him. Not healing, that would take more time. But movement. Forward momentum. The recognition that Maya's betrayals had been about her brokenness, not his worth. She would live with her regrets. The destroyed friendships, the tarnished reputation, and worst of all, the knowledge that she'd had something rare and precious and chosen to throw it away. That was her burden to carry, her lesson to learn. Ethan's burden was different. To remain open despite being hurt, to trust again despite being betrayed, to believe that one person's inability to honor his love didn't mean he should stop offering it to others. He packed up his office and headed home, leaving Maya and all her apologies behind in the past where they belonged. Somewhere in the city, she was probably crying, mourning what she'd lost. But Ethan was done being the man who caught her when she fell. Done being the shield between her and the consequences of her choices. Done sacrificing his dignity to protect someone who'd never valued it. He had protected her honor in every room they'd entered together, had defended her against gossip and judgment and criticism. And she had repaid that protection with humiliation and lies. Now she would face the world without him, and he would face the future without her. It was the ending they both deserved. Her learning that some bridges, once burned, can never be rebuilt, and him learning that walking away from betrayal wasn't giving up on love. It was honoring himself enough to demand better. As he drove home through the summer twilight, Ethan realized he wasn't angry anymore. He wasn't even sad. He was simply free. Free of the weight of her choices, free of the responsibility to save someone who didn't want to be saved, free to find someone who would cherish what he offered instead of exploiting it. Maya would remember him as the one who got away, the man who'd protected her dignity when no one else would. And Ethan would remember her as a lesson learned, that you can't love someone into becoming who they're not, that forgiveness without change is just permission to hurt you again, and that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away and never look back. He never saw her again.